Howdy y'all, my name is Outlaw. Thank you for tuning in. As you can see, this is my Christmas special. Now I know it's very late and I hope to have this video posted before 12 in California. So that way I can still say it's technically a Christmas video, at least for me. Well, anyways, let's get on with the video.
Well, the war on Christmas is not real. They tell you it all the time. It's totally fake. And if you believe in it, you're dumb.
Oh no. Tucker is onto our global jihad against Christmas, comrades.
Now, give TYT some credit that the war on Christmas is overblown. Yes, I will admit that. It's not as dire as perhaps some people would like to think it is. However, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Let's just get right down to it. It's not a war, obviously, but it is a culture war or a culture fight or whatever you want to call it. It is against the culture of Christmas, whether it's the religious part or the even non-religious part. The biggest example of this culture war is the example of not allowing employees to say Merry Christmas to customers. Instead, they're told to say Happy Holidays, as in to supposedly respect the other holidays that are during Christmas. At least that's the excuse given. I think that's maybe part of it, but I think also the other part is there's just some people who don't like Christmas or perhaps don't like Christians, despite the fact that almost everything that we celebrate with Christmas isn't Christian, it's pagan. But I'm getting off track. Let's go back to the saying Merry Christmas controversy. As I'm sure all of you are aware, at least those in the United States, I cannot say for countries in Europe, but in the United States, many businesses don't allow their employees to say Merry Christmas. Instead, they're told to say Happy Holidays. The reason for this was originally, supposedly, I guess, saying that because there's people who celebrate Hanukkah, there's people who celebrate, I think Ramadan, I believe is in December, and Kwanzaa, although there's problems with that. 73.7% of the US population is Christian, while only 2.1% of the population is Jewish, and only 0.8% is Islamic, and another 2.5% that is non-Christian religion, according to Wikipedia, so take this with a grain of salt. Of the people in the United States, only 5% celebrate Hanukkah, and only 3% celebrate Kwanzaa. Don't know why Hanukkah has more people celebrating it than it has people who are Jewish in the United States, but okay, because Hanukkah isn't really secular. As for Ramadan, well, I don't know how many actually celebrate that. I doubt it's all that much higher than the percentage of Muslims in the United States. But let's get to the most important stat. And the most important stat is that 9 out of 10, or 90% of Americans celebrate Christmas. That includes some non-Christians. As I said earlier, only around 73.7% of the United States population is Christian. And of course, 95% of Christians celebrate Christmas. These percentage points for these holidays is according to Pew Research and another source. Some might say that is statistically significant since many are told to say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas. Why are we just going for the minority in here? It doesn't hurt them with saying Merry Christmas, considering the fact that most of the people celebrate Christmas. There's no problem with saying Merry Christmas. Seriously, what is your f***ing problem? Now, to give an example of how stupid this is to be forced to only say Happy Holidays, here's an example. Let's say you were getting a birthday cake, and the baker was going to write whatever you say, except for one thing. He's not going to write Happy Birthday. Instead, he writes, Happy Everyone's Birthday. And there's more. You have all the typical maybe birthday balloons or whatever you have on it to make it look like more like a birthday cake. But it just doesn't say that phrase, Happy Birthday. This is the same thing that is happening with Christmas. Why even celebrate it if you can't even say it? Now, I don't think Christmas is going to suddenly become outlawed or anything like that. I'm just saying that there is a culture war, I believe, against Christmas. Like there's a culture war against American values. Or like the culture war against men. This is just another aspect of it. But this one has been going on for quite some time.
Tucker Carlson, much like the rest of the conservative punditry, has only 2 settings, reciting the 14 words and claiming immigrants are dirty and here to kill us all.
Okay, two things. That is a hasty generalization, and the other is that is taken out of context. What Tucker Carlson said was not racist at all. It didn't bring up race one bit. Was it in poor taste? Yeah, you can argue that. But was it racist? No, it wasn't. Here's what Tucker Carlson said. But as an economic matter, this is insane. It's indefensible, so no one ever tries to defend it. Instead, our leaders demand that you shut up and accept this. We have a moral obligation to admit the world's poor, they tell us, even if it makes our country poorer and dirtier and more divided. End of quote.
You know what? Every year we get this close to ending Christmas. Every single time. But then they get us. First, we forced everyone to say happy holidays. Then we came for the Starbucks cups.
Yeah, the Starbucks cups thing was just ridiculous. But there was very few people who actually thought it was important for Starbucks to have Christmas themes on their cups. In fact, I would actually say that's better of them to not have it on, because if they are not allowed to say Merry Christmas, then why have any considered typical Christmas themes on your cups? Otherwise, you're just kind of half-assing it.
And this year, we're trying to take down gingerbread cookies in one single Scottish coffee shop.
Being kind of bullied into what you can and cannot say and presumptions that you're bad people, that it can be the smallest thing that tips you over the edge. That's the tipping point. And in this case, it's, calling gingerbread men a gingerbread person when obviously they're men.
Okay, this one goes a little bit farther than Christmas. In fact, I would say that this is not the war on Christmas, but actually the war on men. For example, with feminists trying to say that we should replace words that have man in them. Instead of saying mankind, say humankind or human people or whatever. And I think it is legitimate because the Scottish Parliament made it that they could not call them gingerbread men. Is her comment stupid? Yes. But what's your point?
Well, so maybe the lesson is that the rest of us shouldn't participate in our own spiritual neutering, and that we should at every step along the way say, I'm not complying with that.
That is correct.
Again, another stupid comment. But your point is what exactly?
And also, at the very least, the blue-haired SJW is fighting for representation.
If you're talking about representation in media, okay, that's one thing. But if you're talking about representation in jobs, well, that's just life choices. So you can't do much there.
Or to not allow Milo to step foot on their college campus and
how's that good? You can just not go to his speeches. It's that easy.
dox like DACA recipient students or whatever.
I'm also gonna need a citation for that.
Tucker, on the other hand, is on national television as a full-grown adult man getting outraged over cookies.
It's more than just the cookies. You did. You're oversimplifying the problem here. There's a culture war against men, and there's a culture war against Christmas. Now, the gingerbread thing seems to be more against the men, not so much the Christmas part.
Just last week, Tucker freaked out over Huffington Post Comedy releasing a parody video about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer being...
Yeah, I agree that it was stupid to get outraged over that, but that does not dispute the fact that there is a culture war against Christmas.
Positive note on the story. I guess I should be grateful that Tucker isn't doing his usual, we should segregate the water fountains, you wouldn't want to share a glass of water with a stranger, would you, segment that he normally does.
I doubt he has said anything like that. And for you to say that he has said something like that without any evidence to back up your claim is disgusting of you.
Next time you go out to bat for Tucker Carlson, really ask yourself, is this really the side I should be on?
Yes, considering the fact that your side believes that there's more than two genders and that communism and socialism can work. Well, that's going to be it for today. I hope you've liked this video, and hopefully I have finished this video in time for it to be up before Christmas ends in California. But of course, I doubt most of you are going to actually see this right before midnight, so I hope you've had a wonderful Christmas, and I hope to release another video perhaps before New Year's, but we'll see. Anyways, thank you, and Merry Christmas.